Hello.
Monday.
Hey guys, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Great. What's happening?
Oh,
One
cruising?
more time.
Yeah.
So shout out
Monday's flying.
to Callum and
Lucas.
Lucas, regular viewers of the vlog. Maddie's going to do a little bit more talking today. So normally we reserve this segment or this week or this part of the week for Q&A, but Maddie came up with a really cool idea today because she felt that there's a lot of myths out there. She's started to recognize that a lot of people starting businesses that have come in as part of the community or part of large companies that have got spin-off or breakout teams that are in here at Creative Cubes. We want to kind of just get to, well, Maddie proposed that we want to get to whether it's a truth or a myth. And so a lot of people have there's been a lot of conversations, whether you're talking with the guys at Uber or you're talking with, Toothrush or corporate advice or One Stack. There's a sort of like a trending line between all sizes of businesses. And I see a lot of people, like honestly, I was at a kids party yesterday with Harper, my youngest daughter.
She's so cute.
And she's painful, but she is cute. So like, you want to strangle her, but she's.
She told me off the other day.
Did she really?
Yeah, because I went to get a glass of water.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Oh. Yeah, I get that.
Stay in line, Maddie.
I was like, I won't leave again.
I was ironing a shirt yesterday.
No one's allowed.
And she's like, Daddy, can I help you? I was like, it's too hot, darling. She's like, well, let me hold your hand. So I'm like trying to iron the shirt, holding her hand. Anyway, probably not important for our regular viewers. But what is relevant is I was at a kids party yesterday with Harper, and I met another father there, and he was like, oh man, like so jealous of like what you do. I've got all these ideas, but I'm shy. I'm risk averse. It seems too much, and so I actually don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like that at all, and so perhaps some of these truth or myth questions might bust up some of that thinking, which might help you. So,
sounds good.
instead of Q&A, we've got truth or myth.
Mixing it up.
Yeah.
And it's not truth or dare, it's truth or myth. Hoping that you
This
then dare to start your own business. All right,
Awesome.
who's
Wanna
kicking
go
off?
first?
Sure. Okay, truth or myth?
Yep.
You have to know what you're doing.
Wait, before we get into it,
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of part truths.
Yeah.
Or are we going to go black and white?
No. I think we just
Grey.
call it as it is.
Okay.
And if there is a bit of grey or part truth, then that's it. So there is an analogy. Entrepreneurs may recognize this analogy. It's like jump off the cliff and work out how to fly the plane on the way down. And in some places, there is no plane. So jump off the cliff, work out how to build the plane, then work out how to fly it and hopefully you don't hit the floor before it's too late. Do you have to know what you're doing? I think you have to be knowledgeable. You have to be the king or queen in terms of your knowledge, in terms of like your expertise.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I'm a father of 2 kids. My wife says she's a father of 3 because she includes me in that. But I didn't know how to parent, and my kids are okay so far. Training wheels just came off the bike this weekend as well.
Cute.
So I think there is, you have to know something, or at least have some smarts about you to be able to either pivot really quickly. It's an opportunity to watch our video called The Pivot.
Get on it.
Or alternatively, be just smart enough and quick enough to be able to iterate. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely that. But I would also say that it's very much a case of making sure you don't know too much.
Yep.
So not too much that you're not going to listen to the advice you're picking up from everyone around you.
Yep. Lyndon?
I don't know. I'm a risk-averse kind of person.
Yeah. You're working for the wrong company.
Hey, I'm along for the ride.
Buckle up.
So I feel like you've got to know Like, you really need to know your shit about a certain point. Like, you really need to, say if it's a product, you should know what the industry is doing, you should know the potential for your product, know your target market. Like, I feel like you need to have a certain amount of ducks in a row.
Agree.
That you're gonna, like, you know where you're heading. It's not like, oh, I've got this idea, let's just see what happens. Like, I've got this idea, I know it could be this, it could be that, and it could be that for this person. And then I feel...
So I agree with you, and I think it goes back to education and curriculum versus education on the job, or learning on the job, right? So I agree, you've got to have something. You've got to know something, you've got to recognize an opportunity, but business isn't a straight line. So you don't go from here to here, or here to here, or wherever. Hopefully you don't go from here to here. But you have to have some knowledge about you. But I think for the most part, that unknown is where you sink or swim.
Yeah.
Guys, what are your thoughts? Comments in the section below.
Next one, truth or myth?
Yep.
You have to have a full business plan.
Full business plan, absolutely myth. Absolute myth.
I love this idea though, because you've got your plan, you know what you're doing, you know the direction you're heading. I can understand where you definitely need to be able to pivot, but if you've got your plan ahead of you, at least you've got some guidelines.
Yeah, so where the disruption comes, where you have to have a full plan.
Okay.
I'm not saying you don't have to have a plan, but a full plan is the peaks and troughs of the market, the response to your product, the non-response to your product. Oh shit, we're in trouble, we took outside investment, we've got to make this work. Great example, and I'm going to absolutely kill the timeline of production here. But there was a really cool show, I don't know if it aired here, but it was on in the States. It's called How to Make It in America. And these guys were super passionate. The high level is these guys were super passionate about making jeans.
Okay.
They were like caught up for months on end trying to make the best denim jeans possible. Like actually the denim is called Crisp. So just to kind of put it all in perspective, like perfect, right? These guys get to and I'm really killing the show, but these guys get to the final leg where they're going to convince a Japanese buyer that they need to buy their jeans. And the guy walks in, these guys go on the journey with them for months. They get to the Japanese buyer and they're like, no, we're not interested. And they're like, oh man, you don't understand. And then on the way out, the Japanese buyer from these Americans was like, hey, but where'd you get your t-shirt? He's like, this? Oh, I made it in college. He's like, I'll take 500,000 t-shirts. And so they went from, and that was first order. And so they went from, hey, we want to be the biggest and best jean company in the world to, we make t-shirts. And we actually sell a shitload of t-shirts. So that's where the full business plan, in my opinion, have a plan, be ready to pivot, make sure you got a lot of Band-Aids and Savlon, and get ready to hit it. And I don't drink coffee. Myth. All right. Next one.
Okay, truth or myth? You have to start at the right time.
Grey ball. I think that's
what is the right time?
Yeah, so I think some companies are so advanced in their technology that they kind of, the adaptation for market is not there, and they die as a result. I think that on the flip side, some companies start too late and miss the market opportunity there. So if you look at Apple, and I know we make a lot of reference to them on these vlogs, but they are the absolute holy grail for everything they do. You know, they didn't invent the smartphone, but they've got the best damn smartphone. And BlackBerry, who is way ahead of the schedule, dead. So I don't think you have to start at the right time. Sorry, I don't think that there is a right time, and therefore starting in front or behind of that, I just think it's a bit grey.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Dead question. Next.
Sweet. You have to have a lot of money to start. Truth or myth?
Myth. Absolute myth. The market is the market is the market is the market. Get a prototype or a sample or something into the market as quickly as possible. Today you've got Kickstarter.
Yeah. I love that whole idea of people like crowdsourcing that stuff.
Crowdsourcing, yeah.
So good.
So you may give up some. You may not make any money out of it, like profitability, but at least you'll get validation from market.
Yeah.
I absolutely don't think you need a lot of money, and I definitely don't think you need as much money as whatever you think you need. Cram, bootstrap. On a personal note, Simi and I, we started a company together in 2003 called Petloo. We were growing at a pretty rapid rate, but the market validated. And even though we were doing several $1 million, no word of a lie, in top line sales, we were still eating cereal for dinner. True story. And the reason why is because we just pushed every dollar that we had, and a $20 dinner out or a $20 meal versus a $5 meal, which is not, I mean, it wasn't unhealthy, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And not recommended, but you have to do it. If you just have to do it. So yeah, I actually don't think that you need a lot of money. And with Kickstarter today,
Yeah.
you don't need any money. You just need to be able to put the website together or put your campaign together and push as hard as possible.
I feel like this money issue would be such a turn off for a lot of those people who are scared of taking that risk. It's such a fallback to say that you just don't have the money there. So it's really interesting to hear that you're so powerful on that being a myth.
I think it's a myth. I think you need some money. So I don't think you need 6 figures, 7 figures to start a business. I think you need,
Resources.
something. Give up, just sweat like crazy. One thing that I am super passionate about is I really don't think that you should have a lot of money so you can sit back and sort of get your salary. I think you should absolutely starve. And I think you should absolutely sort of try and work it out with as minimal as possible until you get traction and dial it up. So, and by the way, that's way more appetizing for future investors if you say, I earned 20 grand last year doing this, I barely kept my head above water, but I'd like to be able to bump that to 30 or 40 this year to feel a little more comfortable, but I've got this rock star of a business. So that's my opinion. Guys, challenge the thinking, please. Your comments help shape all of this.
Sure.
What else?
You're going mine.
Yours.
Oh, thank you.
Too polite.
Truth or myth? You have to hire staff.
I think that for longevity, you absolutely need to put processes in place and keep people in place in order to keep the business stable. I very much look at a business like a stool, like a chair, and I don't like the idea of your whole body being weighted on one pivot or one leg. It's way more comfortable. Weight is easily dispersed across 4. And by the way, if someone wants to be cheeky and take out a leg, I'm still relatively stable. Obviously not super comfortable, but I'm relatively stable. So I always look at business like a stool. And I think the more people you have can be detrimental. I had a business which people were the hardest thing to, were the hardest part of the business. Almost impossible, but nothing's impossible in my opinion. And so I think that if you build a process, you should. But early on, and I take pride in this, and I've done this here at Creative Cubes, whether we're moving chairs and lounges and table tennis tables out together, or you guys are doing it without me, I know every part of the building and every part of the business intimately. And as a leader, which is very different to a boss, I can't expect the team to go and execute if I'm not prepared to do it myself. So I think very early, back to my Petloo days, which I shed a lot of light on because it was, in hindsight, such an amazing story from a learning perspective. Forget about good outcomes, bad outcomes. I would pick, pack, and send deliveries. I would basically receive all the orders up until midday, then run down to the warehouse, which wasn't connected. I was working out at home and went to Collingwood, packed all the boxes, saw Star Trek come in, and pick all the stuff up, then I'd go back and enter all of the consignment notes and ship out invoices in the evening. And then as the business grew, I was able to put someone in place and teach them the process, which then helped the business scale. So, did I answer the question?
Yeah.
I think the question was, do you need a lot of it? I think you do, in time. I think your business has to be able to hold those people. So, next.
Truth or myth? Do you have to work 24/7?
Depends where you're at.
I feel like myth.
Myth?
Well, like, I think it's super important to be working on it all the time, and your brain's always churning.
Yep.
But I think work-life balance is so incredibly important.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I think that you're right once you're established.
Okay.
I think you're right. And I think that's where you need to be professionally, for longevity, for your health, for everything else that's going on in the world. But I think in the early days, if you undercook your business or you undercook in the kitchen, the thing's going to flop, right?
Yeah.
So I think early days you have to be 24/7, 365, relentless, consumed, but you've got to have a way to pull yourself out at a point in time before you either become too consumed by it and lose everything else, right? You might have an amazing business, but you got no life. You know, one of the sayings that I really, really like is everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I'm very conscious of that constantly, even more so with the kids. And for those who don't have kids, try and pay some attention to that. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And part of me as an entrepreneur, this is living, but I'm 100% committed to this business unconditionally, but I also recognize that I've got to stop and then be 100% unconditionally committed, equally if not greater, to the other side of life as well. What about you guys?
Yeah, makes sense. In the beginning, you've got to be all in, but you need to pull yourself out.
Yeah. I think it's like no different to paddling on a wave, right?
Yeah.
So you have to paddle hard. You get on the wave, and then you're kind of all right. Let's enjoy this. Head up and around. Guys, it's been good. I actually really like this truth or myth. I think that Q&A is pretty cool because people ask us. But
It's nice to mix it up.
This truth or myth, I think that it dispels a lot of conversations that we've been having around the building, and definitely the conversations that I've been having with those other young fathers over cake and pizza and fairy bread at parties. So I hope you've enjoyed the segment. Guys, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week, probably with Q&A, but maybe some more truth or myth.
Throw one in there?
And maybe Lyndon would like to do truth or dare, but we'll work it out.
We'll see. It could be fun.
See you guys.